Every morning, before the world begins to move, before duties awaken, and before life demands anything from you, you are given a sacred opportunity, the chance to shape your mind. This quiet beginning is not merely the start of another day. It is the opening of a battlefield, a classroom, a training ground where the mind is sharpened, the character is formed, and the direction of the entire day is determined. Most people wake up accidentally. They drift into consciousness without clarity, without intention, and without discipline. They allow old habits to shape their actions, old emotions to shape their reactions, and old fears to shape their decisions. They begin the day already behind, reacting, stumbling, following, absorbing instead of directing. But the Stoic knows something different. The Stoic understands that the way you start your morning determines the way your mind will behave for the rest of the day. If the beginning is weak, the day is weak. If the beginning is governed by emotion, the day is governed by emotion. If the beginning is unfocused, the day is unfocused. The Stoics understood that the morning is the first victory or the first defeat. And so today you will learn 15 essential Stoic practices that you must do every morning if you want to master your mind. Discipline your emotions, strengthen your will, and take full control of your day. These are not ordinary habits. These are not self-help tips. These are not shallow affirmations. These are mental disciplines, practiced by emperors, warriors, sages, philosophers, and men and women who refuse to be sliced to circumstance. Take these seriously, and you will begin to live differently. Your morning will not be ordinary, and you will not be ordinary either. 1. Wake with intent, not with confusion. The first moment of the day determines the trajectory of the entire day. Most people wake up and instantly allow their mind to drift. They reach for their phone. They scroll. They check messages. They fall immediately into the chaos of the world. But not the Stoic. A Stoic wakes with intention, with full awareness that the first thought of the day is a seed that will multiply into hundreds of thoughts. So when your eyes open, your mind does not wander. You do not grab for distraction. You do not surrender your attention. You begin with a single, deliberate thought. I am awake. I am aware. I am here with purpose. This anchors the mind. It tells your spirit that you are in control. It sets the tone for clarity, direction, and inner command. Waking with intention means you begin the day as a leader, not a follower. 2. Practice deep morning gratitude. The Stoic kind. Before the weight of the day arrives, before you decide what is wrong, and before you judge anything, you begin with gratitude. Not vague gratitude, not superficial gratitude, but deep, structured gratitude. A gratitude that recognizes the gift of waking up, the blessing of having breath, the opportunity to correct yesterday, the chance to improve today, the privilege of being alive. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself every morning that simply waking was a profound responsibility. Seneca wrote that nothing belongs to us by right. Everything is given. The moment you practice gratitude, you shift your mental state from entitlement to appreciation, from complaint to awareness, from scarcity to abundance. Gratitude is not emotional fluff. Gratitude is mental discipline. It trains your perception to look for strength, not weakness, to look for solutions, not problems, to look for opportunity, not excuses. A grateful mind does not collapse easily. A grateful mind does not envy. A grateful mind does not self-destruct. This is why gratitude must come before everything else. 3. Sit in morning stillness, before thoughts multiply. Before the world enters your mind, before tasks flood your attention, you sit in silence. Just a few minutes. This silence is not emptiness. It is clarity. It is awareness. It is the reclaiming of your inner world from the noise of external life. The Stoics practiced morning stillness because they understood something profound. If you do not command your mind early, your mind will command you all day. Silence slows the mind. It breaks the momentum of unconscious thought. It interrupts automatic anxiety. It creates a calm, neutral foundation on which you can build your day. In silence, you hear your own mind. In silence, you observe your patterns. In silence, you recognize what needs correction. Stillness is mental alignment, the cleansing of the inner space before the day begins. 4. Remember your mortality. Memento Mori. Every morning, the Stoic remembers, I will die. Not to be fearful, not to be morbid, but to be awake. Memento Mori creates urgency. It removes procrastination. It eliminates ego. It sharpens your priorities. When you remember that your days are limited, you stop wasting time. You stop living carelessly. You stop holding grudges. You stop postponing growth. You stop drifting. The prophet said, teach us to number our days so that we may gain wisdom. The Stoics agreed. Mortality is the greatest teacher. When you remember your mortality, the morning becomes meaningful. You stop living as though you have endless opportunities. You live with intention. You choose your actions with wisdom. 5. Identify who you want to be today. Before the world defines you, you define yourself. Before people influence you, you influence your mind. Before circumstances shape you, you shape your character. This is done through morning intention setting, not about tasks, but about identity. You ask yourself, what virtues will I practice today? What kind of person will I be? What values will guide my decisions? How will I behave when I am tested? What weakness will I confront? What strength will I strengthen? This is not fantasy. This is preparation. The Stoic trains their identity every morning. They rehearse their character before the day tests them. Because if you do not decide who you will be, the world will decide for you. And the world is careless in its shaping. When you set your identity early, you walk with purpose. 6. Prepare your mind for hardship. Every day will bring difficulty. This is not pessimism, it is reality. The Stoics did not expect comfort. They expected struggle, inconvenience, and obstacles. So every morning, you rehearse a simple truth. Something will challenge me today, and I am prepared. This removes shock. It removes emotional collapse. It removes victimhood. When discomfort arrives, you do not break. You do not ask, why me? You do not crumble. You expected it. You prepared for it. You trained your mind to meet it. Epictetus taught that you should anticipate irritation, annoyance, disrespect, and difficulty, not to dwell on them, but to strengthen yourself against them. When you expect adversity, you become unshakable. 7. Take control of your emotions before they control you. Emotion is powerful. Emotion is natural. Emotion is human, but emotion is not a master. Emotion is not a commander. Emotion is not meant to rule. A Stoic does not suppress emotion. A Stoic governs emotion. So in the morning you tell yourself, I will not allow anger to lead me. I will not allow fear to misguide me. I will not allow impatience to poison me. I will not allow anxiety to imprison me. Your emotions exist, but they do not dominate you. Your emotions speak, but they do not dictate your actions. The Stoics understood that emotional self-mastery is the foundation of inner freedom. If you cannot control your emotional state, you cannot master your day. 8. Commit to speaking with discipline. Words shape reality. Words create direction. Words influence your mind and the minds of those around you. Most people speak carelessly, reacting, venting, gossiping, complaining. The Stoic decides in the morning, my words will be disciplined today. My tongue will obey my mind. I will speak with clarity, calm, and purpose. This eliminates gossip, complaints, exaggeration, emotional outbursts, impulsive responses. It strengthens truthfulness, composure, integrity, respect, self-control. If you discipline your speech, you protect your peace. 9. Review your responsibilities. With calm focus. Instead of rushing into the day, you calmly look at what must be done. This is not stress. This is not overwhelm. This is simply awareness. A Stoic does not hide from responsibilities. A Stoic faces them directly, without panic. You list what is essential. You remove what is unnecessary. You prioritize what is meaningful. You identify what aligns with your principles. This clarity removes anxiety, because anxiety grows where structure is absent. The Stoic does not fear tasks. The Stoic organizes them. 10. Strengthen your willpower through morning discipline. The first victory of the day must be a victory of the will. This does not need to be grand. You do not need to climb a mountain or complete a marathon. You simply need to do something difficult on purpose, something that strengthens your discipline. It could be rising without hitting snooze, making your bed, doing a set of push-ups, reading a difficult passage, holding a cold shower, practicing restraint. The size of the action does not matter. The discipline behind it does. A disciplined morning builds a disciplined mind, and a disciplined mind cannot be broken easily. 11. Feed your mind, not your impulses. Most people feed their mind junk the moment they wake up. They scroll, they check notifications, they absorb chaos, they consume noise before wisdom. A Stoic feeds the mind intentionally. Morning is the time to read philosophy, scripture, wisdom, meaningful ideas, because the first mental input becomes the foundation for the entire day's thinking. If you feed your mind noise, your day becomes noise. If you feed your mind wisdom, your day becomes wisdom. The Stoics saturated their minds with virtue each morning, because the world would soon challenge that virtue. 12. Examine your weaknesses. Honestly. Morning is the time for honesty, not self-criticism, but self-awareness. You ask, where did I fail yesterday? Where was I undisciplined? Where did I act emotionally? Where did I lose my temper? Where did I act beneath my principles? This is not for guilt. This is for growth. A Stoic improves through awareness, not denial. Weakness ignored becomes weakness strengthened. Weakness examined becomes weakness defeated. Morning reflection is a daily sharpening of the self. 13. Strengthen your character through morning promises. In the morning, you make commitments, not to others, but to yourself. You state clearly, I will act with integrity. I will not betray my values. I will not be ruled by impulse. I will choose patience over anger. I will choose clarity over confusion. These are not empty affirmations. These are character vows. And when repeated each morning, they reshape your identity. A Stoic becomes strong by promising themselves strength and fulfilling that promise. 14. Rehearse your day mentally before it begins. The Stoics practiced a technique called premeditatio, the premeditation of action. You mentally walk through the day, where you will go, who you may meet, what challenges may arise, what decisions you may face, what temptations may appear, what emotions may be triggered. You visualize yourself responding with calm, courage, discipline, wisdom, clarity. You experience the entire day in your mind before you experience it in reality. This rehearsal prepares you. It gives you a mental blueprint. It removes surprise and confusion. It strengthens your resilience. The person who rehearses life is never unprepared for life. 15. Begin the day with purpose, not passivity. Once you have aligned your mind, your character, your emotions, and your intentions, you begin. You rise not slowly, not lazily, not carelessly, but with purpose. You step into the day with the awareness, I begin with strength, I begin with clarity, I begin with mastery. You do not drift, you do not wander, You do not follow impulses. You begin with focus, guided by the principles you established earlier. You walk into the world consciously, fully awake in your mind and fully anchored in your values. A Stoic does not hope for a good day. A Stoic creates a good day through disciplined morning alignment. Final Stoic reminder. The morning is your training ground, your foundation, your fortress, your moment of self-mastery. If you treat your morning casually, your mind becomes weak. If you treat your morning seriously, your mind becomes powerful. These 15 practices are simple, but they are not easy. They require discipline, awareness, repetition, and commitment. But if you practice them daily, your mind will become stronger, your emotions will become calmer, your decisions will become wiser, your character will become grounded, your day will become intentional, and slowly, you will no longer be ruled by circumstance. You will rule yourself. That is the essence of Stoic mastery.